It is 1:30 in the morning, but you stream when you can, and I haven't streamed for a few days, so now I can. We're at Chloe's, hanging out with this goofy gorilla. Say hi to the gorilla if you're here after the stream's up, and say hi to me. It's nice to see that you're here. Let me know if you came here from a YouTube short, because I've been getting pretty decent stuff from the YouTube shorts on these Fallout streams. Let me get the donation link in the chat. You can check the links in the description if you're interested in, at any time in tonight's stream. I know it's the beginning of the stream. If you're here after the stream's up, it's like you're not going to be interested in that. But let's get moving. What's up, Cleasy? Welcome in. MacCreedy's kid is sick or something.
Hey, what do you want?
Hey there.
Here you go.
And he has ammo.
Your thoughts?
Keep leading and I'll follow you.
Didn't have anything else.
Sure.
It's good to see you, Cleasy. Why are you up so late? Alright, long road ahead. MedTech research. So let's see here. I guess you have to find it. That's hallucinogen. How have I been? I've been alright. Made some decent friends at my work finally. It's funny because it's like the shitty living place. I've been visiting there for like a couple of nights. And that's where all the like people that I've enjoyed hanging out with are. It seems. Also, I met a ginseng hunter one night, which was cool. I guess that's a story I can tell you guys. Oh, Cleasy said he's being thrown onto night shift, so he needs to be up. Damn. That sucks. Did you get to sleep between like a day shift and a night shift, or are you just being sent straight to like night shift?
Business is good.
Oh, that's Lucas. I guess since
Make a
business.
move and I'll
Oh, it's this
end
guy.
you, Wastelander.
The guy with the most confidence ever.
The
He has the
only way
voice of
you get
Kellogg.
old in this job is assume everyone's out to kill you.
Well, I think I might be out to kill him.
Got any sense?
I don't know. We'll find out. You're really excited to do it? Okay, cool. I forgot that we have the rocket boots on. Let's see. But yeah, a ginseng hunter. Do you not know about ginseng hunting, Cleasy? I need to know what level of knowledge you have before I continue the story. Oh, so this is going to be a spotty story, because we're actually pretty close to the spot we're trying to get to, so...
We're splitting all that, right?
Fuck off. Oh, shit. Oh, I thought that was a Brahmin. I like how Jingles the Moon Monkey was flying this car. Also, welcome in, Wesker. Good to see you, sir. Be sure to like the stream, everybody. Helps me out. Cleasy's sure taking his time. Cleasy says he has no previous knowledge of this ginseng hunter. Well, no, I'm saying, like, do you know what ginseng hunting is? Like, the activity of seeking ginseng. Or are you familiar with what ginseng is and its uses?
Tech research. I hope Sinclair's information pays off.
Like, I'm positive you don't know who this ginseng hunter is. That's not what I don't know who this ginseng hunter is. I spent one evening with the gentleman. Alright. So ginseng is the root of a plant that grows in the Appalachian Mountains. And it is very, very valuable because it's in all your like energy drinks, it's in a lot of medicines, it's in a lot of like teas. Like if you get Arizona green tea, it has ginseng in it. It's a very healthy item, but it's also like it's kind of like truffles. Like it's hard to find, and only few people know how to find it. It does grow on the surface, so it's not like as hard to find as truffles. Like you don't need a dog to find it, but there's a trick to knowing when it's ready to be harvested, and that's where there's been problems. And people are also like, this dude makes like $300 a day on at least he told us on his ginseng hunting, and that's a reasonable amount to, like, it's not a crazy amount for someone to say that they make ginseng hunting, but it's also very illegal. It's like the fact that he was doing it, and where I live is in a national forest. Like, if he gets caught, he could spend some serious time in prison. And also, if he stumbles upon another ginseng hunter's spot, the other ginseng hunters tend to be pretty protective of their spots, so they kill each other for it. Because it's illegal because you need like a permit to do it. It's in a national forest, so like if you pick any plant in a national forest, like if I picked a flower in the national forest, I could get in serious trouble. Like even taking a fallen leaf out of a national forest is like if you get caught doing it by a forest ranger, you're gonna get in some trouble. But like ginseng, even more trouble. Like you're gonna get into some serious trouble with it, because ginseng it's become a rare thing, like rarer than it already was, because people poach it and they don't know like what a mature ginseng looks like. So it takes like 6 years for ginseng to grow into like a usable amount on the tuber that grows underground.
Got it.
So like you have to know what a mature ginseng looks like when it's producing its berries, that kind of thing, before you go and pull it out. And a lot of people that poach it, like trying to get their money, will just dig up all the ginseng they see without caring at all, and it causes problems because it's a like very highly used medicinal plant that only grows in certain conditions and is very difficult to farm. There are people who do farm it, but it's not an easy plant to farm. But yeah, like other ginseng hunters will shoot you if you stumble upon their ginseng spot, and like if they catch you trying to dig up ginseng on their land, they're liable to shoot you. And this guy was telling me that, like, fortunately for him, like when he's found ginseng on other people's land, for the most part he's been able to get written permission from the landowner. And like that's one of the things, like you can legally do it if you have written permission from the person that owns the land that the ginseng's on. And the guy told me that he had been locked up before because he had verbal permission. He had verbal permission from the landowner, but when the forest rangers caught him, the verbal permission wasn't good enough for them. So he got into trouble for that. And he had all kinds of problems there. And honestly, it was kind of shocking that the guy was just telling us about all this stuff, like he was really desperate. Like he had been dropped off there, and nobody we have to lift the lockdown if you guys didn't catch what's going on in that terminal. Ooh, shit, what the fuck? Can I not shoot anybody? There we go.
Going to need that stuff anymore.
Yeah, like the fact he was telling us about his, like, where he was ginseng hunting, he basically like I don't know the guy, I don't know who he is or anything. I just helped him like get a ride back to wherever he needed to go. I didn't give him a ride. You know, I just basically sat with him for a couple of hours, and because he was like dumped in the woods and didn't know like what to do or anything, like because his phone was dead and everything. And to me, it was just some guy who needed help. Jetpacks are cool, by the way. Pretty useful. That's like a gold prospector telling you about where they go to get their gold, you know. It's like sketchy. In also like kind of unwise on his part to be telling me and a couple of my friends while we were hanging out at the like lower end housing area, just telling us about his spot. I feel like there's gonna be a bunch of ghouls in here. There we go. That's probably gonna lift the lockdown. Oh! Oh! Where did it take me? Hold up. Hey, did I just transport into another land? Oh, it took me down? Oh, I see. Sorry, I know I'm not finishing a thought here. I got sidetracked. Wesker, we're talking about something other than Elden Ring right now.
Better work, or we're screwed. They make vacuum cleaners for a reason.
But, you know, essentially, I hung out with this guy that was a ginseng hunter. It's a sketchy thing to do. I didn't intentionally hang out with him. He was just desperate and needed help. So I helped him out. Helped him find a ride. And that's that. That was a cool night, too. I mean, otherwise, because I made, like, 2 new friends that are, like, probably, like, I've only... How did I meet him? So I was hanging out at a barbecue we were having at the lower end housing at my work, the staff housing, which is saying lower end housing says like very little because it's all really low end housing. You know, like I live in like the mid grade housing, and there's like, you know, you guys know my situation. I have to climb up a ladder to get to the attic of a shed where I can't even stand up. There's no like ventilation. I had to make my own ventilation. There's exposed fiberglass insulation all over where I live. You know, there's bugs everywhere, and it's not a good condition. And we were hanging out in the lower end housing where there's not even any insulation or anything like that. But anyway, we were just hanging out, having a bonfire. Everybody had left except for me, this cool girl, this cool guy, and then this guy that came with me. They were listening to me tell them stories about my hiking, showing them photos on my camera. Like, these people were really engaged, and it really made me feel special, honestly. To like, and they gave me their numbers and everything and want to go hiking with me. And they're really cool people. I'm hoping that we can go hiking with like both of these people that I've met. I've already made plans with one of them. But yeah, like, anyway, they're really cool, adventurous people. And then while we were sitting there, this guy comes up and says, "Hey, I really need help. Like, my ex-girlfriend was supposed to pick me up." Like, that's what he says. And he goes, like, "She hasn't come. My phone's dead. I've been ginseng hunting." And he's like, I left all the ginseng back at this spot. And I was like, well, you know, just take a seat by the bonfire. We'll figure this out. And we all figured it out. I don't even know if the guy was actually ginseng hunting or not. I feel like I felt like he was just saying that to make it seem like he had the money to like pay us back if for finding him a ride. And it's like I wasn't expecting anything in return, you know. And it's like I know ginseng is in there. It's just it's illegal to get the ginseng without a permit. And maybe the guy had a permit. I didn't ask, you know. I didn't care. The guy could have said he was like running a lab or something in the woods, and I would have still been like, all right, well, if you need a ride, like it sucks to be stuck out in the woods over at night, and the dude was not dressed for cold weather, and it gets pretty cold in the gorge that we're in at night. So I was like, yeah, we'll get this guy some help.
Thank God that worked. Let's find
Yeah,
out
I
what
want to
happened
see if we can figure out why this place is on alert. Let's see. Mentat sales 24. That's new product shit. Research report summaries. Experiment 98, 23 test subjects reporting hair loss. Experiment 4786 antidote causing cysts in adult test subjects. Experiment 2312 test subjects reporting erections lasting more than 4 hours. Test subject procurement costs up 36%. System alerts. Nuclear activity alert from head office. Corporate communication connections established. Emergency containment activated. Executive override. Executive evacuation procedures activated.
That's where MedTech should be storing the cure. This looks promising. Unless you're suddenly into collecting junk, you might want to skip this.
But, you know, one thing that sucks is, like, one of the people that I met, like, works at a different outpost that's with the same outfitter that I work for. They're just, like, living there for a little bit. And it's like, they seem like a cool person to hang out with. And it's like, I've met probably 3 people there that seem like really cool people to hang out with, that actually seem like they want to hang out with me. And it would suck to have like 3 turn into 2, you know. Not that it, you know, it's better than having nobody to hang out with, which is what I've pretty much had the whole time I've been there. And it's like all of a sudden I have these 3 friends now that aren't my like direct coworkers that I'm like, you know, that I have to be friends with. There are like, you know, I had coworkers that I was good friends with, but my coworkers don't like hiking. They like to watch football and shit, and that's not my cup of tea. Alright, MacCreedy, let's roll. Oh fuck. Yeah, I guess we're gonna figure out the mystery of this place while here. Which sounds like a good stream to me. Yeah, fighting Millennia Wesker was pretty fun up until people came into the chat being backseat gamers, which is, you know, that's never fun. It always kills the fun of a stream when people come in being like, especially in the Elden Ring streams. Like, it's become a real issue in the Elden Ring streams where I'm just trying to enjoy playing the game in a certain way, and people are like telling me I have to do it this way or that way, and it's like, or like heckling me, telling me I suck at the game. It's like that makes me not want to play the game anymore. Like I just want to have fun and grind Millennia in a certain way, and I was having a lot of fun up until it got to a point where it was just, yeah, like, it's particularly, it's like Logan and like Sigurd will sometimes come in on like Elden Ring, and he's gotten better at it because I've talked to him about it, but it can be pretty annoying when like Logan or Sigurd And again, like not as much secret anymore. But and just as examples, because they're two people who've done it. When they come in, when I'm trying to just enjoy the game, doing it a certain way, playing it, like, I intentionally make the game more difficult than it needs to be, because I enjoy grinding it, and it feels a lot more fun in those games. When I've already beaten Millennia, like, what, like 5 times? You know, like I want to do it in a different way this time. Like, and the thing is, Logan has seen me beat Millennia several times. I first tried her with one of my good builds that like was actually trying to see if I could make it a good build. And this one is just, I'm using a sleep sword, a bleed rapier, and a parry tool, and then in-game summons. And it's like that's, and I'm actually doing pretty good against Millennia, like given what I'm working with. That ghoul is creepy. But it's like, I don't need people telling me to use the blasphemous blade and like rivers of blood on Millennia. Like, I know that that would cheese her, but I'm not trying to cheese her. I'm trying to just grind it out, hang out with the viewers, chat it up with the viewers the way we've been doing tonight's stream. Like, tonight's stream's been a very fun stream so far, because I can just hang out, talk about shit with Cleezy, hear about what Cleezy's got going on. I like hearing about what you guys got going on. I like telling you guys what I got going on. I don't like being bitched at in the chat when I'm just trying to enjoy a game. But Cleezy, tell me about why you said you were going to tell me why you got moved to the night shift. That's something I'd like to hear. Also, it sucks, you know, that you're not coming down to North Carolina anymore. Because until like the end of December, I can do all this shit, a ton of shit for free through my work. Like, I can go whitewater rafting for like a few bucks when it's normally like $6 a person. I don't know why I'm so over encumbered right now. Yeah, I don't even think I have shipments of everything, so I don't need any of this junk. Except for the pre-war money. Oh, you get to hang out with that church girl all night? Cool. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Let's see. You know what's funny is this never-ending laser rifle, I think it has the same perks as the Wazer rifle, which I thought it wasn't supposed to be like that. The church girl invited you to move to Australia for 6 months with her, and you're thinking of doing it? Alright. Well, there you go, Cleezy. That sounds fun. Could be cool. Alright. I have all these random weapons. I need to figure out. Also, my birthday's coming up soon. There's a video on the hiking channel I really want to make for my birthday, but you know, it all depends if I can find the time and energy to edit it. Because it would just be a little bit of grabbing clips from every place I went to last year. Because I kind of worked through like an existential crisis my last birthday. I assume I should probably... Yeah. Oops. That was probably what I was supposed to do from the beginning. When's my birthday? Wouldn't you like to know, Cleasy? You guys will know when it's my birthday How about that? My coworkers got mad at me because they found out my birthday is soon. Because I was like, hey, can I get these days off? To my manager. And she goes, why do you want those days off? I was like, oh, it's because that's the weekend of my birthday. And how do I compare today's self to last year's? A completely different person. You know, I went through a lot of shit last year, and it changed me. And I'm at a place where I hate the living conditions of this job, but I'm genuinely happy with the work that I do. I feel like these people need to be set free and put down for their own enjoyment. You know what? Hang on. Maybe there's some sort of cure I can do on them. Man, I spent all this time like flying around this place thinking I'd find some shortcut through this. Turns out that the shortcut was to just do the thing the way the game intended me to. Yeah, like, I'm doing a form of photography that I truly enjoy, and I have the opportunity to go to other outposts, and the other outposts have photography that's even closer to what I want to be doing. Like, one of them, one of the outposts is on a river where you have to actually do, like, hiking. You hike along the river while the people are doing their whitewater rafting to get to different positions. And then there's another location where that's like actually closer to Chloe's, like it's an hour closer to Chloe's, and it actually ends where I used to, like, right on this lake that I used to live up the road from, back during that whole, like, you know, part of my life that you know about, Cleasy, where I was living, like, going back and forth between my hometown and Pigeon Forge. Me and my little brother would actually ride our bikes down to this lake that this one river ends on. What the fuck?
I don't know where they are.
He's like having like a breakdown. You good, MacCreedy? He was like hearing voices or some shit in his head. But yeah, that one, sorry, that location, it's where one of these people that I met that seems super cool to like hang out with and do hiking with and shit, it's where they work. And they were telling me all about it, and I was like, damn, sounds cool. And it's like an all-day trip. So like where I work, when you go down the whitewater, like, river stuff, it's a 2-hour trip. Like, it's 30 minutes to get, like, go through an educational and safety class, and then it's like driven up to the put-in on the river, and then it's like 2 hours down the river, and then you're back at the facility. And then the, like, outpost that I'm thinking of maybe going to next year, that's closer to Chloe's and closer to my dad, that one, they do all day trips. So like they have a photography department that, like, that sounds pretty freaking cool to do, like, photos for an all-day trip.
Sweet.
Like, cause that's how long, like, it's on the river. Like, it's literally, like, they start so far on the river that it takes all day for them to, like, of whitewater rafting to go down. And to be a guide on that, too, because, like, you know, I have the chance to be trained how to be a guide for these whitewater rafting things. And a lot of the cool people that I met are the guides for these whitewater rafting trips.
You're messing with the best.
And, like, imagine you're just hanging out with the same group of people
Playtime's over.
as their guide, and you just entertain them all day. That's pretty much what the guides do. You know, they make sure everything's safe, they guide the boat down the river, and they also just, you know, talk to the people in the boat all day. And it's like, that's basically what I do when I'm live streaming. I just talk to you guys. So he says he'd love to be a guide. I mean, yeah, and like, it seems like a really fun job, and you get tips. So like, typically, you know, people don't always tip, but the people that do tip, it's like, the typical tip is like $20 per person. That's like the average tip that I see these people get on this 2-hour trip. Who knows how much they're tipping on the all-day trip? But, you know, imagine,
It's horrible.
you know,
I think we're
say you're
the
doing
first
like,
ones down here in a
you're,
long time.
say
Sure,
you're,
we find
hang
out.
on, say you're guiding a trip, like, for say you're getting a trip for like 2 hours, and then you guide another trip for 2 hours next. That's like 4 hours of your day, and say you have at least like 4 adults on each boat, and they tip you $20 each. That's like, so you, like, for those 4 hours, not including your hourly wage, you're getting like $80 on top of that from each boat that you guide, you know, and that's like them doing the minimum tip. And that's, you know, not everybody tips, you know, you can't guarantee that, but it's like, that would be a decent chunk of change, especially, like, you know, if you don't mind living in the staff housing and stuff. And it, you know, some of these people, like, told me that some of the parts of the shittier housing is actually pretty nice, because, like, there's one part where most of the people have left, and there's just 4 dudes that live in this one, like, 10 cabin staff housing area. And, like, I might move over there because I had to get my own cabin, and it's just 4 dudes, so I don't have to worry about the disgusting bathrooms and, like, worms in the shower that I'm worrying about right now. But I don't have any horror stories that the guides have told me yet. I did live through a horror story recently.
Get out of here.
I'll get into that. What's the difference between mid-level and low-level? The cabins I'm in are winterized. They have insulation. The one I'm in specifically has exposed insulation, though it seems I got, like, the shortest straw or whatever. There are other people who have exposed insulation in their cabins, but, like, their cabins will have, like, AC or something in it, and mine doesn't. Or, like, there's ones that don't have AC, but they have drywall over their insulation, so it's like they don't have to breathe in the fiberglass like I do. But the low-level ones, it's not in as nice of a spot. There's less privacy because it's a lot more open. And well, though, you know, the one that my buddy was telling me about, that one's actually tucked back in the woods, like it's near the other low-end housing, but it's like further back. And also, like the mid-level one, I get charged more, and I didn't get to choose which housing I got. I was just assigned it. So like, they pay like $40 per pay period, so that's like $80 a month, and I get charged $55 per pay period. So I'm paying like $110 a month in rent for like a little space that I have to crawl into and like kill bugs in every night and, you know, deal with inhaling fucking insulation and shit. And one of my Hurricanes hats got moldy just sitting in my room. Like, that's how disgusting it is that my hat, that's like my favorite hat for my first ever NHL playoff game that I went to, got moldy. My food and water is not paid for. There is not water. There's supposed to be water, and there isn't running water to my cabin. Like, I have to go to the bathroom in like a communal bathroom area. I like when it's pouring rain, which it is. It happens every day. It's a matter of what time of day it happens. I have to go out in the pouring rain, in the dark, at night, and in like the woods to get to the bathroom area. Like, and that's the same for all of them. No, the only housing that has, where is the fucking terminal for this place? Also, this place is kind of laid out like that one area in Outlast. But the only place that has its own bathroom is this like fancy house that hang on. That like 3 people live in. They have their own bathroom, kitchen, and everything. And it's like literally a house. And they pay like $500 a month for their bedrooms in that house. But for food, I have to drive an hour to Walmart. Yeah, $500 a month for their for like a bedroom. And that's if they can get it, you know, because not everybody, you know, it's a high demand living space. I wouldn't live there, you know, because I don't want to, I'm there to make money, you know, I'm not going to spend $500 a month when I'm making like 11 an hour. Ooh, I like that orange security helmet, actually. I'm making like 11 an hour plus a 5% commission, but we're at the end of the season where, you know, barely anybody's coming in, so I'm getting, you know, not enough commission to make it worth it. I'm just there because I like being there now. You know, I like hanging out with the people I've met, and I like being in the mountains where I can just get off work and go hike. Like literally, I drove back to a city, and I genuinely got sad being back in a city. When does the season end? October 31st. There are people that live there throughout the winter, and those people all like work at the restaurants, because there's 3 restaurants on the campus that I work at, and those stay open year round. I cannot find the terminal to open these doors or whatever it is that we're looking for in here. Oh, I need to go down? Shit. Well, I can't go down, so I guess I need to find a way to go down.
This is a joke.
I have been like wandering aimlessly in this room. I know you guys know because you've been watching, but I don't know what to do right now. I feel like I've ended up in some sort of like backrooms limbo space, and I don't know which way is the way I came.
Wasting my time.
I'm pretty sure this is the way I came from. I don't think I turned this way. Yeah, I don't need. I can't even go that way. What mission is this? We're with MacCreedy. He's our companion. His kid has cancer, and this place has a treatment potentially that could cure him. Cure his kid. That might be the trick. We'll see. I keep forgetting to open the doors, so that's probably the issue. Yeah, I'll get into that horror story that I lived in a few minutes. I already told the story of it in another stream, but it was very spaced out because I kept having to focus on the game. So it was like a not hour-long story that took me like over an hour to tell, just because I kept in like, oh, what's going on in the game? Also, I don't think there's gonna be that many clippable moments in tonight's stream, but I think it's a decent stream so far to listen to, at least. Alright, we're just gonna check these cell blocks now. So I was going up to this fire tower. I had gone up there 3 different nights. The first 2 nights I had to turn back because it was getting dark, because I was going after work, and first night I was going up to it, I got held up because they had done a big dam release and I had to drive by the upper cascades, which are class 5 waterfalls, like literally drop-offs, like straight up, like you just actually like drop down these waterfalls, and people were kayaking them, getting airtime going down them, which was like sick. So I stopped to get footage of it, obviously, and talk to the kayakers and stuff. And then when I went up to the thing, it was getting dark. I was going up the old abandoned service road, trying to go to where I was trying to get to, which was the fire tower up there. But there was too many animals, it was getting dark, and I was alone, and I didn't want to be alone with a bunch of animals. So then I go back there the next day, and again, too many animals. I could smell bears in the area. Bears have kind of a distinctively gross smell that I've kind of gotten used to, like to where I can identify it as a bear, and know to like clear out. Because I'm not trying to be alone with a bear, fellas. People underestimate black bears, and I do not underestimate them. If they want to fuck me up, I know they can, and I am getting out of there. Unless I can like get a cool photo of them from a safe distance, where I'm like not gonna run into it without knowing where it is, and just only smelling it. So I clear out when that happens. But yeah, like I turned back because of all that, and it was kind of bumming me out, but I was like, you know, it's better to survive to come another day than get stuck up there with a bunch of animals that are in constant fight or flight mode.
Sweet.
So I go back there like maybe a week later. Like maybe a week later, I go back there and take the service road again, and this time it's completely clear. There's no animals at all. You know, I don't have that bear smell that I'm worried about. I just, you know, I can just hike up it. The only animals I run into are like songbirds and frogs, and it was too dense to like really go off trail, so, and to even like see much of the surrounding peaks up until I got to the fire tower. But when I got there, you know, it was worth it. You know, I got a really cool view. It was sunset. I got some beautiful photos. I'm trying to make a collection of postcards because the place I work doesn't have any postcards. So, you know, I'm going to sell them postcards of my photos in the area, and then they get a little extra money that way, given that the season's dying down. The season is going to pick up again once leaves change color, because we also offer zip lining, and people like to zip line, like, it's mountaintop zip lining, so like they like to zip line from mountaintop to mountaintop with leaves changing color. So that'll, you know, that'll still be an opportunity for your boy to get paid and stuff. But anyway, while I was up there, I hear someone go like, "Hey," like that, like really much deeper than the way I said it. And I figured it was some Appalachian Trail hiker, because like the way I went up was actually a part of the Appalachian Trail. And I thought they were just seeing me from on top of this fire tower, which is kind of like a noticeable landmark that a lot of people use to mark their progress. So I'd go, "Hello," from up on it, and you know, the tower was shaking in the wind. It was kind of a wooden, janky tower, and were kind of wearing down and falling apart as I was going up them. So I wasn't eager to stay up there longer than I needed to, and it was also getting dark, and I was about a mile and a half, and it was like 8 p.m. So sun was setting. Had basically it was basically below the mountains at this point, so it was dark in the woods.
Place is trashed.
You know, I was alone, and there was this guy or something shouting "Hey" at me, and then so I get to the bottom of the tower. I hear it again, but this time it's further down the trail from the opposite direction that I came. And this is where we'll stop for now, because there's an objective coming up in this quest. I'll pick up from the bottom of the fire tower. Cleezy, save this point. But also, don't underestimate black bears, Cleezy. If they wanna fuck you up, they will fuck you up. Like, they bluff charge you when they're just trying to get you to go away. But if they want to, like, eat you, or if you're in a territory that they feel is their territory, like, they can easily just kill you. Especially around here. The black bears around here are no joke. Like, especially a male black bear. Female ones are usually around 150 pounds, which is still plenty large to fuck you up. The male ones are around 600 pounds. So that's a hefty bear. That's nothing to mess around with. And the male ones are also very territorial. And it's like, you know, people hike alone all the time. The numbers on how many people have been killed by a black bear, it's like, you never hear about it because it's not like the people that get killed by a black bear are there to tell you about it. You know, it's, you know, you just got to be careful, because it's like any other animal. You don't want to risk it. Even a deer, like a deer will gore the fuck out of a person if it wants to. You got to respect them, and it's not wise to be alone in the dark with them when that's their time to go look for food. Like, if you ever seen a black bear haul ass up a tree, it's pretty, especially a large one. Like, I've seen a black bear that was like, you know, at least like 400 pounds, literally just sprint up a tree like it was nothing.
Perfect.
And the amount of power and strength it takes to, like, haul ass up a tree when you're that weight is just insane to think about.
Hell yeah.
There we go. We got the cure for MacCreedy.
Hey.
Yeah, what is it?
Hang on. He picks up random shit like this flamer. I don't know why he does that.
Heads up.
Well?
Here you go, MacCreedy.
Holy crap, we actually did it!
I don't know why my
You
guy
just
jumped
gave
while
Duncan
talking
a
to him.
fighting chance to live. I don't know how I'll ever be able to pay you back for this. I owe you big time.
Well, I guess it's time for him to go back to the Capital Wasteland, right?
All I care about is curing your son.
I know you do. I'm just getting tired of taking instead of giving. Maybe one day I'll learn to get my priorities straight.
Well, you did give a
Anyway,
child to the world,
last
right?
step ahead of us is getting the cure to Daisy and Good Neighbor. With her caravan contacts, she's the only one I trust to get this to Duncan on time. This is the last favor I'm going to ask.
He's not gonna bring it to his kid himself.
Let's go.
What? Like, I know that's, you know, game dev wise, they need a reason for him to stay your companion after doing his loyalty mission, right? But it's like, you know, you could have him like leave for like 2 weeks or something, I don't know, to go deliver the cure to his child, spend a little bit of time with him, and then come back. What a dingus. But anyway, like when I get down to the bottom of that fire tower, I hear the hey from like low further down the trail, and I was like, that's kind of weird. How did they get from this other peak to like just a little bit down the trail from me? And I did like, I went hello, just thinking like, you know, it's still thinking that it's a AT hiker. AT meaning Appalachian Trail. So I do that and I keep going down the trail, and I'm like going as fast as one could possibly go down this trail because it's a steep trail, a lot of loose rocks. You can only walk down it. If I were to run or, you know, briskly walk, I'd slip and break an ankle. It's not the kind of, and it's not exactly a trail you can go off of and go into the woods or anything. Like, I kind of want to emphasize how dense the foliage is around this trail. Like, it's like ferns and flowering plants and bushes, like shoulder height. Okay, all along the side of the trail and kind of growing onto it, with loose rocks where the trail is, and it's steep. So I get down a little bit of a ways, like past the fire tower, and then I hear it again, and this time it's coming from past the fire tower. So like my direction, closer to me, not at the fire tower, like not like past the fire tower in the other direction. It's like in my direction. Like it had gone from where it was past the fire tower towards me and was shouting, "Hey!" like that. And I went like, that's weird, like thinking maybe it's a bird or something. And I go hello, like that again. And then eventually I didn't hear it for a little bit, and then I hear it even closer, and I noticed that everything was quiet. You know, it was all dead quiet. There was no animal noises, no birds anymore, and all I hear is sticks breaking in the woods. And I was like, so this, like, the only thing that I know is out there is whatever person or like animal is like shouting "hey" at me. And I'm like, why is it, how did it get off the trail? How is it getting so close to me? You know, all that stuff. And like, why is it coming in my direction past the fire tower and all that? So that time, like, I was thinking maybe it's a bird or something. I don't know. It's like way too deep of a voice to be a bird, but it could be a bird. And I think I say like, "Are you a person?" Like I literally like yelled that out. And then like I wait a few minutes, I don't hear anything, and then I hear from the woods like, much closer, but still not. I can't see anything because it's too dense to see like into the woods, or even move into the woods, or for anything to come into the woods towards me, and at least easily, without like being really slowed down by these plants that grow up here. And like then after a little bit, I hear the hey even closer, and I just like I stopped like responding to it. At one point, I even picked up like a big heavy rock and just chucked it at a tree. That's something that you can do like around predatory animals to kind of like spook them and be like, hey, I'm a strong creature that is healthy and gonna put up a fight. It kind of like snaps them into like the reality of the situation they're in as well as the situation you're in. You pick up the rock and like really like a big heavy rock and just make a really loud smacking sound by throwing it hard at a tree. And like I didn't hear it for a little bit further away. I heard this going back up the trail, and then the last I heard it was like quieter, and it sounded like it was back at the fire tower. So to me, it seemed like it had first seen me at the fire tower, and it was using my responses to its calling as a way to find my location. And then when I stopped responding, it went back to the first place that it saw me. And I was like freaked out, like, and I was alone, like completely alone in the woods up there, and it was just like really creepy. And it was dark, it was past 8. I was there. What do I think it was? I have no idea, honestly. It could have been a person, some animal. I mean, the area that I live in is the most biodiverse area outside of the tropics. It could be some strange creatures out in those woods that like we don't know about. Yeah, that's what everyone else says, Cleezy. Cleezy says sounds like a skinwalker. That's what everyone else says, and like personally, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it was, because it was moving too quick to be a person, in my opinion. Unless it was like just some person that was like, that was where they fucking like go. Like that's all they do is just go up and down those fucking mountains, and they know it like just that specific spot. Just that's where they fucking are. Because there is no way they went from this one peak down the trail past the fire tower, like outpacing me by a lot, and then through the woods going off the trail, like through this thick vegetation, like big enough to break sticks too, like because like if you hear sticks breaking in the woods, it means that it's a large enough animal to like break a fucking stick like by stepping on it. But yeah, like what Ace says. He says he lives in the city, but he hears coyotes and stuff. Can make pretty convincing people noises. Coyotes can sound like a man screaming, and mountain lions can sound like a woman screaming. Like they can make the sound of like a woman, like a curdling scream that sounds like a woman screaming. And it's pretty freaky when you hear it in the woods. It's not like it. I mean, when you hear it, you're like, at first you think like some lady is getting killed, and it doesn't make it easier or any less anxiety inducing for you to realize it's a mountain lion making that sound, because they make a pretty terrible sound. We're going back to, I don't know why we went here. We're going back to Good Neighbor. But I don't know, like in the Smoky Mountains, they found like a ton of new species just this year, and like, most of them are small creatures, but it wouldn't be unfathomable for me to believe that there's like some creepy animal out there that hunts people down by mimicking their voices, because I already know of, you know, several animals that are capable of sounding like a human, not necessarily that they intentionally mimic human voices, but like, imagine if you're on the Appalachian Trail and you hear someone yelling like, "Hey," and you've just been on the trail for a few days and you haven't seen anybody, you're going to go towards the voice and you're going to be like, hey, "Oh shit, someone I can hang out with finally. I've been alone all this time." Like, and then you end up getting like eaten or something. That would be a viable way for something to hunt if they wanted to hunt. Or even for just a person. Um, there's I know of ex-convicts. I've had run-ins with ex-convicts that or just fugitives that hide in the woods in Appalachia, and live off the land and rob hikers or even kill them and just take their shit and then dump the body somewhere, because there's a lot of places to hide a body up there. Like it could have been some fucking like
I believe it took Bobby this long to get herself killed.
some fugitive that lives up there.
Oh, jeez, you're one of them diamonds.
Like, it doesn't, to me, like, what I told people, I was like, it doesn't have to be a ghost for it to be scary, like if it was just a person or like some animal, like, hunting me down and trying to like locate me by mimicking my voice, or trying to lure me into it, like, that's as scary to me as if it were a ghost. Like, it doesn't have to be like an alien or a fucking ghost or a skinwalker. It could have just been like, some dude like that just really fucking wanted to kill me or something, and they were just hauling ass to get to me and calling to me to find out about me. And the specific region I'm in is called the Nantahala National Forest, and I was getting photos of the Nantahala Gorge. And Nantahala is an old Cherokee word that means land of the noonday sun. And it's because like the peaks are so steep and kind of close together that there's only sunlight down in the valleys around the midday, and the rest of the day it's like in shadow, because it's they're close and high up in elevation relative to the valley, like a big elevation change suddenly, so you don't get a lot of sunlight in there. Yeah, and Ecclesia says being in the middle of the nowhere in the woods when it's dark is terrifying. Yep, absolutely. And what's also creepy is I could see where I lived from this mountain, this fire tower. So like navigating is so like weird up there. I could walk along this one creek that goes by where I live and just go like 4 or 5 miles up the mountain, and I'd be at the fire tower if I were to just go along that creek. Like, I would be at a cliff that is on this, like, that the fire tower is on top of, but I could, like, go up the creek and then go along the cliff until I got to the, it would be dense and it'd be hard to navigate. I'd need to bring a machete with me, but I could get to the Appalachian Trail, and then, it would be like a short walk from that point to get to the fire tower. And then, but like to drive there, I have to go through the gorge. It's like a 45-minute, just like 30-minute, 45-minute drive from where I live through the gorge, and then up the mountain, and then like up this dirt road, and then finally I get to this gap between 2 peaks where I can pull off on the side of the dirt road where there used to be a service road, and then I can either take the Appalachian Trail or I can take the old service road, which is quicker but steeper, and I went the service road route. Ace says, sorry if this is a dumb question, but what's a fire tower? So fire towers, they're placed on like kind of a lot of the peaks in that area, and they're basically tall towers that are above the tree line, so that you can see like a wide area, and if there's a fire, you can call it in and report on like the location of the fire. Most of the fire towers are abandoned now. The one that I was at was an abandoned fire tower, and the road it was on was an abandoned road. Like it wasn't a possible road to drive up of it for like the mile and a half or so that I had to hike. Because it's abandoned. But there are some fire towers that are still active, where basically volunteers go and they'll spend like the week or the night on the fire tower and just live up there and keep an eye out for fires. The fire tower I was at didn't have an indoor area. I've been to fire tower. There's one that I like that's called Bald Fire Tower. You can just drive up to that one, and there's even like a bathroom near it. It's a bit of a drive, and it's a bit of a like tricky drive because it's it also goes up a dirt road and it's an abandoned fire tower, but it's a very frequented fire tower, and it's made out of stone. And there's a stone like indoor part of it, and then like a stone staircase to the top, which has kind of like a gazebo on top. And then there's like a big stone like balcony on the side of the mountain where it is. That's really cool to stand on. And then the one I was at, I'm not going to say the name of it because then like people will be able to figure out my location and stuff, because I lived right near it. But the one I was at is an abandoned one made out of wood, and it's just kind of like a stick structure that is taller than the trees, and then there's a platform on top with no roof or anything. So they're Appalachian Trail hikers probably do spend the night up there if it's not raining too hard, or they'll spend the night underneath it if it is raining. Though like when it rains up there, it for sure rains sideways enough to where we'll go under the tower. But usually when it rains, the peaks that the fire towers are on are usually in the clouds. So it's like a lot of these plants up there that grow up there, they're very different from the ones you see like as you descend the mountain, and then once you get to the bottom of the gorge, it's or the valleys, it's a different type of plants as well that you see. Like even the trees are different. But up at the top, they like basically will just take their water in from the clouds. Like the cloud vapor will pass by the mountain, and it still will rain up there from time to time. But oftentimes it's like groundwater is pushed up by the weight of the mountain, and like springs form on the sides and on top of the mountain, and like the plants will get their roots down to the groundwater, or they'll just capture the vapor from the passing clouds. And yeah, like so like it, you might not even need to take shelter in the rain. Like I was up at the Bald one on a rainy day, and it was just like misty and windy up there and very cloudy. Like fog was constantly blowing in and then blowing out. It was very like creepy looking, but cool. And it wasn't a scary place to be because I had nothing weird going on up there. It was just kind of a cool night. I'm good at describing things. Thank you, Ace. Well, I'm trying to paint a picture so you guys can understand it. And I spend a lot of time there.
Hey, Daisy.
If you hit upon something, don't bother telling me it's an heirloom. I'm probably older than whatever it is you're selling.
Here.
Did you say something about people screaming at you?
That's right.
I'm here for a reason. I don't want to have this side conversation.
Can't handle a friendly face, I say. So you need some supplies?
Gonna pass.
Fine. Turn a girl down.
Alright. MacCreedy, can you fucking talk to this bitch?
Daisy.
MacCreedy. I haven't
There we go.
seen you in a while. You haven't been avoiding me, have you?
No, how could I stay away from someone as cute as you, Daisy?
You're a lousy liar. But I'll just play stupid and pretend I don't know that. So, what do you need?
I got it, Daisy. I found the cure to Duncan's disease.
Oh my god. That's wonderful news. How'd you do it? Last time you tried, the ferals almost chewed you to bits.
I didn't do it alone. A friend here got me through medtech. Now, all I need to do is to get the
now he
cure
has a
into
PhD.
Duncan's hands. Can you help me?
Of course, MacCreedy. You saved my behind more than once. It's the least I can do. It's okay. You can trust me. I swear I'll get the cure to Duncan.
If this gets lost, you'll have to live with the guilt.
Don't worry. It's not going to get lost.
What?
I'll get the sample
That's an
on the
empty
first
threat. It's like,
caravan leaving the
if you
Commonwealth.
lose this,
The
I'm not going to
driver
do
owes me
anything
a
to you, but you're going to be real guilty
And
about
he's
it.
reliable. It will arrive at your homestead in no time, MacCreedy.
Thanks. You're a doll.
Hey, do me a favor. Take care of MacCreedy for me. He's one of the good ones.
Heads up.
What's up? Hope this helps.
Your thoughts?
You point, and I'll shoot.
How do you feel about us?
Doing pretty good.
I was hoping to get like a conclusion from him.
Hope it lasts.
Ooh, you're back. Can't get enough looks at this lovely figure of mine. No?
Hi.
Guess you'll just
What's
have
up?
to shop then.
What a day, huh?
That's definitely, that's definitely the guy from the railroad, Whenever I see him, the bald guy with sunglasses, it's him. But yeah, like, back to that story of like, the thing calling out to me in the woods, or the person. Like, I was freaked out and sketched out up there, and I didn't realize how creepy it was until after, when I was telling Chloe about it. And like, that's when I started to get goosebumps, and I was like, I'm not far from that place. Like, and it didn't occur to me when I was in the mountains, like when I was up on that, around the fire tower and hiking down, how weird it was. I was just like, okay, I'm going to stop responding, and I'm just going to be ready to defend myself if I have to. I was just like in the mindset of like, I need to get out of here. And then when I like started telling people about what happened, that's when I started to realize like how crazy it was, and like how like weird of a story that was. And like I've actually had other people tell me like that they've heard singing while up on that fire tower before, because it's a relatively popular fire tower. Like, it's kind of there's a few fire towers that all of my coworkers.
Come on, we're here. Don't tell me you actually believe that. Come on, we're here.
Oh, Jimmy complained.
Don't tell me you actually believe that buried treasure nonsense.
I mean, we've already done the buried treasure nonsense, MacCreedy. You bitch. And it turned out it is true. But like, a lot of my coworkers have been up there, and most of them haven't been up there alone, because, most of them have friends to hike with. And I'm like one of the few weirdos that ends up having to hike alone most of the time.
That's how we do things around here.
But one of my coworkers that recently left, like when I told people about the story, she was like, when I was up there, I heard someone like singing, and I didn't know where it was coming from. Like, that's what she said, and that was pretty weird to me too. And there was some other people that had some other interaction up there after I like told them about that. I don't remember what it was. I think they just heard, like, when they were up on top of the fire tower, they heard whispering. And that's it. Like, they didn't have like a weird interaction where something was like getting closer and like after them like I did. But yeah, I do carry weapons with me. In my banjo case, I keep a machete. I have a little banjo backpack that I can carry a banjo and my machete in. I don't usually take it with me, you know, because I'm not usually playing the banjo when I'm up there. But when I do, I have that with me. I usually keep a knife on me, and I have pepper spray on my keys. And the pepper spray I keep on my keys is like, it's strong enough to where it's rated for bears, but if I had to actually use it on a bear, I would already be in a lot of trouble because it doesn't have as much range as like a real bear spray canister would have. Because like a real bear spray canister can really shoot out pretty far, and this one, it's like if it was 10 feet away from me, then I could spray it, but it's like at that point it's just gonna be a spicy bear that's after me. I'd like to keep a gun with me. I may or may not know some people at my work that do keep guns themselves, and like they just hide them because we're not supposed to have guns in the staff housing and stuff. But also it's like we live in the woods with wild animals and meth heads, and there's a lot of junkies that work with us and live with us that, like, I've been taking a dump before and had a meth head come into the bathroom and just start growling outside of the stall I was in at me because I took the good toilet. And then when I left and came back, they had trashed the place while I was gone. Because I came back to take a shower after that and saw the place was trashed, and I was like, alright, well, I'm not showering today. Because I didn't want to be in the shower and then have the meth head like show back up and be berserk again. And you know, one of my like buddies, they've had to deal with they've had to deal with a bunch of junkies just hanging out their door for no reason. Like, they had no reason to be outside their door because she doesn't, like, I live in a unit where there's neighbors that share a wall, like share walls with me. There's a lot of suiciders in this Super Mutant Club. But she's had junkies like hanging out, and she's had to like kind of stay in her room and just be ready in case they came in. Well, like a lot of the, like there's only a handful of people that are from North Carolina that I work with. Like a lot of them, especially the ones that work in the restaurants, are people that kind of like, they need a job and a place to live, and this is a job that has staff housing, but they're also like, you know, drug users, and they come from like cities, but like they couldn't make it in the city, and they heard about this job. Like a lot of them don't have cars either, so they're just stuck in the staff housing and take this like shuttle to work. And like when they're in the staff housing, they're just like getting high. And that's an issue that I've had in this like somewhat nicer housing that I've been in. Is like a lot of my neighbors that I've had to deal with are junk, like they use a lot of drugs and like become quite rowdy and like aggressive at times, and my work won't do anything about it. We've actually had OSHA come into our work, and like they inspected some stuff because people left the job and contacted OSHA about like the working and living conditions, because they're not great. Um, and OSHA came in. We're yet to hear about their findings and stuff, but I know what they found. I know some of the stuff they found, and they're definitely OSHA violations. But whether or not OSHA will actually do anything about it is a different story. And there's someone that's supposed to be coming to inspect the housing that's from OSHA, because
We're splitting all that, right?
it's like there's different people that inspect the work conditions and different people that inspect the living conditions. Like where I am, my unit, the last person that was in there smashed up all of the smoke detectors because they were smoking in the room. And I've been trying to get the smoke detectors replaced, and they're not doing anything about it. And there's worms that just like live in the showers because it's just like super mildewy in the bathrooms because the vents don't work.
Stupid noises. Someone there.
So like someone takes a shower and the whole thing just stays wet. Unless you leave the door open. But if you leave the door open, then you never know what you're gonna find when you go in. Like there's animals and bugs and shit all over the place. Yeah, living conditions are terrible. The work itself is pretty awesome. And the people that I get to hang out with that are my coworkers, like the ones that I've met that are pretty cool, are like really cool. Like some of my favorite people I've ever met. Like in my hometown, which isn't like a small town, but like I only have like 2 friends, you know, and then at this job alone I've made like 4 friends, you know, that are like good friends. So like it's like my favorite job I've ever had, hands down. But the pay is shit and the living conditions are shit. But I've honestly, like when my family went homeless, I lived in better conditions than I do here. Like it would be genuinely cleaner and like maybe even a little bit safer to just sleep in the woods. I've had jobs I enjoyed before, but they always came with like I have Crohn's disease, so I would have some sort of like health problem that went along with them. Because all the jobs I've really enjoyed were also jobs that demanded a lot of me in ways that I had to compromise my health for. This one I guess is kind of the same, but it's not causing Crohn's issues, which is the big problem for me. The health problems are just, you know, the fiberglass insulation, the bugs, and the general filth. And also, you know, the like benign, yeah, you know, there's somewhat of a danger to living out there, but I'm a little bit worried about it. I've had interactions and some altercations with people in the living situation and stuff. Like one of the people that's like a meth head kicked a really sweet cat, like he just kicked it, and I had to like get in his face about it and like and shit, and like almost got into like a serious fight with him. But that's about it. Like I'm not worried about that guy showing up and like trying to kill me in my sleep or anything. And I'm planning on moving, because right now I have a roommate, and there are cabins in the lower end housing that's cleared out that I could get my own cabin and like just have my own space It wouldn't have insulation, but I don't care about that really. I have blankets. Yeah, I hope OSHA does something. I am worried about the place getting shut down. I don't want it to get shut down, because then, you know, I'd have to find another job, but I would like OSHA to do something to get, like, get the people off their asses about it. Because, like, another issue is that the HR department at this job don't do their job. Like, this is all shit that HR is supposed to deal with, and instead they're focused on, like, their, like, diversity and inclusion stuff. Like, that's their, like, big project is that. And it's because, you know, we're in Appalachia on whitewater rafting guides. It's like, there's a lot of white people that are into that, you know, and that's their problem. It's like, why is that a problem? Like, you know, there's not really, it's Appalachia. It's a lot of poor white people, you know. It's not like a problem. It's just the way it is. It's like, can you please fix the living conditions? You know, like, can you please, like, the fire extinguishers in my like job site where I work in, like, in the job, the fire extinguishers are all expired and they're low pressure. Like, they wouldn't spray out any fire extinguishing substance at all if there was a fire, which is a huge problem. You know, if there's a fire, then it's basically like, oh, well, guess everything's gonna burn down.
Yes.
Like, that's a huge safety issue. And they're concerned about, like, just, like, silly hiring practices to try and change the, like, percentage of representation and shit. And it's like, that's, like, people that want to work there come there to work there. And it's like, as long as they're not like preventing like minorities from working there, it's just they don't, there's not a lot of them that live in the area that want to work there. You know, like, it'd be an issue if there was, like, discrimination going on, but it's like they're trying to create some sort of discrimination to undo their perceived discrimination. It's, like, weird. I'm like, why don't you just worry about the health concerns, and then maybe more people will want to work here, and then you can get the diversity that you want. Like, or improve the pay, you know? Bring it, like, there's better paying jobs. Like, it's not like this is a job that only people who really want to do it are going to do it. And, like, not even people that really want to do it are going to do it. Because, like, they have a really low rate of people returning to the job. And, like, that's something that they keep talking about. It's like, how can we retain you guys? How can you guys, like, make sure that you come back next season? It's like, well, you know, if you fix the fucking living conditions and the pay, then people might come back. Because right now, people go get that job because this job is desperate to hire anybody that they can. And they train them to become rafting guides and photographers and, you know, all these fancy job positions. And then people that, now that they have training and experience under their belt, they can go to the outfitters that pay more and work for them and have, like, a long career with the one that pays well. It's like, you know, it's simple shit. But I don't know why they don't just, like, that would solve their problems. They wouldn't have OSHA up their ass if they would just fucking fix shit and do their jobs. But every time I've gone to them about it, like, when you go to the higher ups at this job, I know I'm just venting right now and wandering aimlessly. There's actually something I want to do. There's this, like, magazines I want to get in this game. There's 3 of them. I could just go to the hack room and get them, but that's less fun. whenever I've gone to people like higher ups about the issues, or whenever any of my coworkers have gone to them about it, they get like super defensive, or they say like, "Oh, we've already discussed this. We plan on implementing this in the coming next 5 years." And it's like, well, what do you do? It's not 5 years. Like we're not going to be here in 5 years because you're not implementing these changes that we all want, like need. Like I personally, you know, I'm not someone that cares too much. You know, I've had very good paying photography jobs. The other job that I really liked was a photography job where I was doing school portraits. It was 16 an hour, plus compensation and all that shit. And you know, I could, if I went to my bosses, I could easily. Here, let's go to Watts Consumer Electronics real quick. I need to figure out its location. There's so many ads on this on the Fallout wiki. What is the deal? I'm gonna take a guess. I think I know where it is. It's in like the South Boston area, I think. We'll start at that Hester's Consumer Robotics. Why is there not a fucking map location? That's like the basic shit, right? I know I'm getting sidetracked here, but what the hell? Okay, there we go. I found it on a map. But the last job I had that was a good photography job. You know, I worked my ass off, but you know, it was worth it. Because I liked doing the school photos, especially the high schools, because it felt like I was having a real interaction with someone. Each photo, you know, like I could have like a real meaningful interaction with someone. Especially the senior photos; those are my favorites. A lot of my coworkers loved the elementary school photos because they like, a lot of them were moms that liked little kids, like hanging out with little kids. But I kind of didn't like those ones. I liked hanging out with the high schoolers and talking to them, ask them about their day, give them, you know, that little bit of interaction. You can have a very meaningful interaction. With someone in a short period of time. And that's what that was basically the job, you know, is having meaningful interaction with them to the point where you get them to smile, and then you get the picture of them smiling, and then you tell them to have a great day, and you know, whatever you learned about them, you know, I would always comment, be like, hope you have this thing, or like, you know, whatever, like, hope you make it on this dream, or good luck in this class. Or if they were graduating, I'd always say congratulations on graduating and stuff like that. But that job paid well. I got 16 an hour. I often got overtime because it was a lot of hours. I got to clock in the minute I left my door, and then clock out the minute I got home. And then I was also compensated for my mileage because it was a lot of driving. So like, for example, like the longest days I had at that job would be like a 19-hour day, where say I get up at like 3 in the morning, drive 3 hours to get to some school somewhere in, you know, North Carolina, and then set up all my equipment an hour before school even starts. And like oftentimes, you know, I would just be standing outside the school trying to figure out how to get in, because the contract said that I had to be there an hour before school started, but nobody was there to let me in. So it's like I had to find a door that they left unlocked or something, so I could set up in the gym or wherever I was supposed to set up, or find some custodian that was there early. And then I would do like maybe like retakes in the first half of the day, and then I'd drive an hour with no lunch. I never got lunch breaks or bathroom breaks, which was a huge downside, but it was just a part of the job. And honestly, at that point, I had worked several jobs that didn't give you any breaks because it was just not possible. So like, I could survive, you know, and do fine without a break. Breaks would be nice, but you know, I didn't. Yeah, and then I drive an hour to another school, do their class photos, and then I drive maybe an hour to another school, do their sports photos, get photos of all their sports teams for like, that would usually be like a 2 to 3 hour thing, and then drive back to the office where I would sort through all of the sports photos and everything and send in all the photos from like the other schools I went to. I'd also, you know, I'd say I like got stuck in traffic or something and just go to like a Zaxby's or something and get something to eat because the 19 hours with nothing to eat is pretty brutal. And then I'd eat it while in the office. I was always alone in the office at that time because it was midnight, just sorting through shit. And then I'd, you know, drive an hour and a half home because I lived an hour and a half from the office, and then I'd clock out. And I'd always make sure to log my miles because I would, every day on that job, like the shortest amount of driving that I did in a day while working there was 100 miles. The typical was around 200 miles in a day. That was like usually the like typical, and then like the most I've done was, I don't even know, like a fuck ton of miles. It was a lot of driving, and then a lot of stuff. What also really sucked was
That old stuff worth anything?
what also really sucked was the teachers, which the students were fine for the most part. There was some like catty students that I had to deal with, but I was always good at dealing with them because, you know, either I could get their mood to turn around or I could just give them shit right back, and that was always, I enjoyed giving them shit back. And you could tell the students that give you trouble,
Nice.
like they probably also give the other students trouble, and I could always see that the people around were like enjoying the fact that this person, like, I'm pretty good with words. I can cut someone down if I need to. Like if they're trying to like be shitty to me and stuff, like I'm capable of giving it back tenfold, you know, if I need to. But yeah, like that was rarely needed, but you know, they're also, you know, teenagers. It's like I'm smarter than them. They think they are all hot shit, and until they run into me and like I've interacted with teenagers much longer than they've been, you know, than they have, because they're just, you know, they're kids. For the most part, though, it was always positive interactions. Even at the rough schools, there were some schools I had to go to where it was in like really rough neighborhoods, and I had to be accompanied by a sheriff to make sure that the kids, like, for example, if I went to go to the bathroom, Like if I managed to get a bathroom break, like talk someone into it, like being like, hey, I really gotta fucking go to the bathroom. Like I'm gonna like piss myself if, if you don't let me go. The sheriff would have to accompany me to make sure that like the kids didn't attack me while I was in the bathroom. But those schools, you know, I still got along fine with the students because I was always able to get respect from them. I had coworkers who had problems with some of the students and almost got into fist fights with some of them, which, you know, like it sounds ridiculous until you like witness what led up to them being willing to fucking get into a fist fight with a high schooler. And it's like, so sometimes these high schoolers kind of ask for it. It's a hard thing to, I understand that it's probably not an easy thing to understand until you witness it. But like obviously, if I ever saw one of my coworkers try to fight a fucking high schooler, I'd step in and be like, okay, I can
Look alive.
let me handle this. You need to step outside.
Sure. I'll trade with you.
But I never took shit from any of the kids, and that always got me their respect early on, especially if there was a lot of little gang members and stuff that wanted to do their, you know, thing, and they would try to like get under my skin, and I knew that they were just trying to get under my skin, and I'd just kind of joke around back with them, and then like their buddies would come around and like surround me, and I would just like snap the photos, and we would just kind of roast the kid while he was sitting in front of me, because none of them want to be there and get their
What do we have here?
into smiling. I'd snap the picture real quick. I'd be like, all right, there you go. And I always didn't want to smile in the photo because they thought them look tough, but really it just makes them, when you don't smile in your school portrait, you kind of just look retarded. And I would always show, like, say if there was like a boy that was trying to look tough and cool to all the girls by not fucking smiling for some reason for the photo, I would show all the girls their photo. Look how stupid he looks. He has a smile, doesn't he? And they'd be like, yeah, smile. Why aren't you smiling? And stuff like that. And that would always get them on my side. Where they'd be like, they would kind of just be like, and like, shit. You know, get that defeat because I embarrassed them in front of the girls they were trying to impress. And it's like, there you go. But I like that job. It's fun making people smile for a living, you know? Even if they don't, like, they hate picture day a lot of time. And it's my job to take them from... Also, some of them like picture day because it's an excuse for them to get out of class. It's just, you know, you interact with each one as an individual uniquely. And it was kind of fun, too, going through the photos after, and I'd be like, man, I remember this person exactly. Like, I could see the photos that I had taken of people, and then just remember exactly the conversation we had before that photo, and I was like, that was always so cool to me. It's kind of what helped make it feel like I was having a real impact. You know, it's not like I know it's not like the biggest moment of their life, but it's like, I feel like they're gonna see that photo and just remember that, you know, like the fun or like embarrassing or whatever interaction they had with me that day that led to that photo. Plus it goes in their yearbook, especially their senior pictures. They're gonna get, I really like the senior pictures the most, because I know they're gonna keep that photo and I get to be their last school photo. And I get to congratulate them on their way out of school. You know, and that one meant a lot to me.
Yes.
But, you know, I had a lot of health issues from not being able to sleep,
Hell yeah.
not being able to... not being able to sleep, not being able to use the bathroom, not being able to control my diet. You know, it caused a lot of health problems for me. But it paid well, and it was a job I enjoyed, and was happy at. Um, I'll probably go back to doing it at least for a few months between, because, you know, this job I'm currently doing that I love is unfortunately seasonal work. So I'm gonna have to find something to do before it starts up again. And school photo starts up in like February, and then this job starts back up in like maybe May. I think in May is when it starts up again. So it's like I could do school photos from February to May. I'm gonna do portraits in the mall most likely in December and to January, unless one of my buddies that's a guide, they keep telling me about these other photography jobs they keep finding. So if I can get one of those jobs, that'd be pretty cool, because they're like wilderness photography in the winter kind of stuff.
Intruder.
Oh,
Identify yourself. Hold it right there.
ah, son of a bitch.
Get him!
Commencing. Also attack on hostile target.
Chills.
And identify.
I don't know. Use. Oh, maybe I have to read it. Hang on. Let's see. It's weird to me that. Oh, hang on 1 second. Mini games. I feel like I should do a live stream of just mini games in the Pip-Boy. Shit. Well, that was a huge loss. These MIRV grenades. Or bombs. Oh, too. Shit. I know it's stuff, but this has my full attention here. What's up, moveless robot? Welcome in. Alright, I basically just need to destroy any bombs heading towards Seattle, it seems. Oh yeah, I didn't protect my own thing. How you doing, moveless robot? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. It's been a decent stream. I've mostly just been sharing stories with you guys about my life lately. But yeah, like, it all started with Cleasy asking me how I feel about my life compared to last year, because my birthday's coming up. And all in all, I'm happier than I was last year. I had a lot of shit going on last year, you know. I had some stuff going on, like personal stuff that, like, shouldn't really be talked about on stream. I had, like, my mom went through cancer and stuff. I had lost a job, and no, I'm not just playing the mini games. I helped MacCreedy out. I finished his quest line. I'm also looking for these there's these like hacking magazines I'm looking for now.
Unidentified intruder detected.
I got one that lets you, it's supposed to let you control robots, but I don't know exactly what it does. So I'm trying to find a, oh, hey, look at him. Yeah, that's hilarious. I need to see this. The way the Protectrons punch is so funny, and the fact that MacCreedy can't shoot for shit. Ah, son of a bitch. MacCreedy just died? Oh no, he's good. There's my Protectron. Oh shit, Mr. Gutsy. Yep, I feel okay. Yeah, I mean, my life's improved significantly from last year. But I was talking about how I had kind of like a life crisis on my birthday last year, and honestly, it didn't even have to do with all of the stuff that I was going through. It was more like, um, I had to learn to just be okay with, like, I don't know, like with what I had managed to do and not feel guilty about what I wasn't able to get done. Because, like, last year, despite, you know, I had resolved all of the issues that I was having that were fixable issues, and I was helping out with all the things that I couldn't control. You know, I was still managing to help out with those things to the best of my ability, which, you know, is the most that I could do. And I also, you know, I learned banjo. I picked up photography at the beginning of last year, and I got my first professional photography job, like in the last quarter of last year. And, you know, now I'm working as a professional photographer. This year, I got some short stories and a novella finished last year. It's like I did a lot of stuff last year. And like what I was talking about was like how I need to edit the video, because I've recorded audio of me processing that. Because on my birthday last year, I just kind of sat alone in the woods and just thought about that stuff, because I needed to work my way through it, and kind of just learn to accept. I don't know, learn to just accept the way that things had gone. I don't know how to explain it, but I would like to get that video out, and it would just be a lot of editing, because what I would like to do is make a collage, kind of a compilation of a bunch of footage from all of the trips I did that year, like while learning photography.
You hear that?
Well, it wasn't even that I made myself busy to handle things. I have a lot of like dreams and ambitions. Like, it's kind of separate. Like, I didn't do all that stuff to cope. Like, I was, like, my way of coping was basically to just try to resolve the issues. You know, I wasn't just like being helpless to it. Oh shit, I forgot. There we go. We have to,
Protect and serve.
wait, yeah, there we go. My way to like cope last year, because there were so many, it was just a storm. There were so many things that happened at once. But I just had to do all that I could possibly do to fix whatever I could and help with whatever I could. And I was also like, I had lost my job right at the same time that everything happened, and I couldn't get a job for like 6 months. Like I can't remember exactly how long it was, but it was a long time where I had no job, but there was a lot of people that needed, like, I needed to give money to. Unfortunately, I had enough saved up. It was the money I was going to use to move out, but I had that money that I could use to still help out, you know, the people that needed help in my life. And I ended up basically running out by the time I got the next job, which was, you know, that first photography job. So it was a big year, you know, a very pivotal year, very building year. I learned, you know, a lot about reconciliation. I learned a lot about, you know, just getting things done, growing up, I guess. I had already grown up by that point, but I don't know, I feel like I became more of an adult, I guess, because of last year. And more of myself, maybe. Like, it wasn't like I was looking to find myself or anything like that. It's kind of, I feel like that's kind of cheesy, but you know, I did become more of my own person, I guess. last year. And the video I'd like to put together for my birthday is the audio of me working through that, because there's no way I'm the only person who has that issue, you know, where it's like you get to your birthday and it's like, what have I done with myself this year? Like feeling like you've done nothing to work towards the dreams that you want to do and stuff like that, and to, you know, live your life kind of thing, like feeling like you made no progress and feeling like, how have I let this year slip by? Because that's what I was feeling on my birthday last year, and I just had to work through that and talk myself through it, and that's, you know, what the video would be. I know I'm repeating myself, but it would basically be, you know, me processing it and talking about, like, talking it through while showing a collage of, you know, the photos that I took that are my favorite photos from last year, like learning photography, and a lot of the videos, like a collage of stuff from videos I made last year, basically. Like, I know it's a long way to say it, but that's basically it. Alright, let's see what, here, I'm going to go to the Wikipedia. Let's see, Protectron Override Program. The disc can be found in Total Hack Magazine. Let's see, notes, there are two options when loaded into your Pip-Boy. Third, when loaded into a Protectron terminal. Disengage safety sensors, override alliance parameters, hijack VIP escort protocols. Oh, okay. See, like, it's basically just it would be on my other channel, by the way, Moveless Robot, just so you know. I have another channel. It's called UrMums Room. It's basically where my hiking videos, photography videos go. It's where I would put this video that I'm talking about. I used to put those videos on this channel, but it just got buried in the gaming content. And those are videos that I really care about and don't want them to get buried, so I gave them their own little space. I've been able to work on them as well, but, you know, them regularly, have weekly on that channel. You know, I have a huge backlog. It's just, you know, I'm too busy to get it all done. Do I stream often here? Yes, I usually stream every night. Past few nights I haven't been able to. So I was busy with work. Last night I didn't stream because I was processing something. I don't know what it was still, but it was like, I think I talked it through with Chloe today, my girlfriend, and it was just kind of, I felt both a lot of happiness and a deep sadness at the same time that I couldn't understand. And I didn't stream last night because I was like, okay, I need to just like sit down and think about this. Think about like what I'm feeling and why. And I didn't really get to really finish thinking about it last night, but you know, that's what I was doing last night instead of streaming. And the 2 nights before that, I was at Rod Run over in Pigeon Forge doing photography there. It's a big car show, and typically people pay me to make videos and photos of their car to help sell it, but unfortunately I couldn't compete with another photographer. There was these 2 really hot girls that were doing photos with people's cars, and, you know, basically doing what I would be doing, but except, you know, my photos are focused on the car. Their photos were more about hot girl next to their car. But I can't compete with boobs. I can take some pretty sweet photos of a car, and I will say my photos were better composed and more interesting than theirs were. But they didn't have hot girl. So this year I didn't make any money at Rod Run. Or not this year, this fall. I made money in spring. I made like $100 from like a 1-minute video when I wasn't even trying to do it in spring. Like I had walked around for like an hour and some dude was like, saw me with my cameras and stuff out. And I needed to go to dinner with my dad and stuff. But this guy stopped me and like, gave me $100 to make basically a short TikTok kind of video for him doing a walk around of his car. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I got some pretty sweet angles while doing it, you know. I did a really good job with it. I put my all into it. Try to do the best thing I can, even if it isn't the best money, but $100 is $100, man. That basically covered my gas money to get there and get back. So I was not complaining at all. But I am complaining about this fall because it kind of sucked. I was really looking forward to getting some money. I was gonna use the money to buy a telephoto lens so I could get more into doing wildlife photography and stuff like that. And there's some photos that I'd like to use the telephoto lens on, but I don't have $300 to just spend on telephoto lenses. And my plan was, you know, walk around the Rod Run, do photos and videos of people's cars like I normally do, and some people would pay me for them. And you know, normally I'd make enough money where I'd be like, yep, that's enough extra money where I can get the lens I want. But this time I didn't get any extra money. But it wasn't at a loss because I got some cool artistic photos. And then I went to Cades Cove, which is always fun. I love going to Cades Cove whenever I'm in that area. I always do it. And I got a few nice photos during the sunset of just landscapes, which I probably have taken those photos before. There's times where I go to Cades Cove or go to some places that I've already been, and I end up taking a photo that I've already taken, but it's just like I just enjoy taking some photos. Like there's this one photo of the Linco Viaduct that every time I'm near the Linco Viaduct, I climb up on this one rock and get this photo of the Linco Viaduct with Hawksbill and Table Rock in the background, like on the horizon. And I just love taking that photo. It's not an original photo either. Like ever since I took that photo for the first time, I started noticing that like so many of the photos and even commercials that are in North Carolina have that exact same shot in it. It's just a nice shot and it's fun. It's a very fun photo to take. It's just, there's something satisfying about how good of a photo that spot gives you. And even though it's not the most unique thing in the world, I still go there and I still take that photo when I'm in the area, just because it's fun. It's a fun photo to take. Cades Cove, when I go down there, I don't think the photos I got are similar to other photos I've gotten before, because the photos I've gotten before were more focused on people who were like riding their cars through it, or some of the historical landmarks there, or like the horses that go there. And this time it was more about like a landscape incorporating some deer in the landscape. But Moveless Robot says some lenses are way too expensive, and I agree with you there. There's a lens that's like the perfect lens that's like $800, and it's a zoom lens that gives you the same quality prime, and it's like the fact that that lens exists is almost physically impossible. Just because of the way light works and the way lenses are built. I can't explain, especially this late into a stream, why that is the way it is, but it's like a miracle lens that's like a magic work of art that it even exists. Also, be sure to like the stream, please. It helps the channel grow. But the lens I want is $300, which is actually pretty cheap lens-wise. The lens and camera body that I use at work, the whole setup together is like $4,000. For the camera body itself is like $1,700, and the lens is probably like $2,000 maybe. Because the company dished out for it because they wanted to have really high quality photos and videos, and they didn't have they couldn't guarantee really high quality photographers, so they had to get the best camera and lens they could get to make sure that, despite either the photographer being just some fry cook who's getting some extra hours, or like me who's an actual photographer, and they could give me, like, the camera I use is way less fancy and I get better photos than some people get with the fanciest cameras in the world. Have I tried to modify one of my lenses? I only have one lens. That's my personal lens. Whenever I've done professional photography work, like a camera body and a lens is always provided to me. Unless it's like, people buying photos off of me. Because I take killer photos and videos with a pretty cheap setup. Because I know what I'm doing. And, I don't know what's going on with that body right there. That's pretty cool. What's going on down there? Are those two Deathclaws dishing it out? Hang on. I'm going over here real quick. That's two Deathclaws just fucking fighting each other right there. Hang on, I need to heal myself. Let's take a stealth boy. If there's a time to use a stealth boy, this is it. Where's the fuck's my stealth boy? Oh, I passed it. Wait, they're not fighting each other anymore? So now that I'm watching, they're done fighting each other? Son of a bitch. That was cool as shit, though. Why were they fighting each other? One of them disappeared. The fact that it doesn't know where I am, it's already throwing pocket sand. That's a bummer. I wanted to watch a fucking Deathclaw fight. Wait, there was 3 death. Oh no. Okay, that was probably the one that I already killed. I don't know. I know that other Deathclaw's gonna show up. What were they fighting, if not each other? Moveless robot. I'll get back into this with you, but 1 second. I'll continue responding to your comments and shit. Just let me. We're hunting Deathclaws right now. Yeah, that is a huge bummer, right, Moveless Robot? Moveless Robot says, what a bummer. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't, Moveless Robot. I don't know if you're like one of my regular viewers and changed your username, because that happens from time to time. Or if you're an actual new viewer. But, if you're enjoying yourself, then consider subscribing. I'll be doing Fallout 4 at least tonight, tomorrow night, and the night after, maybe. I might be doing it 3 nights in a row. And then Elden Ring after that for a while. I might do some Mortal Shell too. I have basically 2 weeks straight of work after this visit with my girlfriend. Alright, I've lost this Deathclaw. I think we gotta... Hang on. I think we gotta bait it. Scrap rats? Hold up. Wait, Scrap Rat is the guy's name. Oh, you subscribe and follow me on PSN. Okay. Well, they definitely know I'm here, you know. They haven't pulled their guns on me. Oh, their guns are already out. I don't think they seem keen on fighting me. I feel like if I approach them, they're gonna get mad at me, right? That guy, he's coming to me. Oh, you're watching this from the PlayStation Media? Okay.
You crazy?
Shit. I think they're crazy, honestly, because I'm way more equipped than they are. And they're just shooting me with, like, little pipe rounds. He's probably gonna bait that Deathclaw towards us, right? No, it's not into the commotion. We're gonna track this Deathclaw. But, Moveless Robot asks if I have tried to modify one of my lenses. Yeah, I mean, that works for people. There's ways to modify a lens. But, you know, like, honestly, like, I got the standard lens that comes with my camera. Like, I got it refurbished for like $30, which is nothing for a lens, you know. Lenses are so much more expensive than that. And what I've been able to do with that lens,
Find anything useful on him?
like, I've been able to do everything I've wanted to do with it, except for things that I need a telephoto lens with. Like, I can't really do good wildlife photography with this lens. So I'm getting a telephoto lens. And a telephoto lens, like, $300 for a telephoto lens is also, like, that's nothing. This weapon is bonkers. It's, the Overseer's Guardian. And I have my stats set up to where it's basically doing, like 130 damage per shot. And I think that's ×2. Because it shoots 2 bullets at a time. Alright, I need to go in the direction that the Deathclaw ran in from here. Because it just ran off. We killed its little wrestling buddy. And then it ran in this direction. Like, I don't know. Maybe it spawned in the wrong place. Also, thank you guys for listening to me ramble tonight. I've needed a good rambling. Which sucks that I needed it, because you know, with my coworkers, I just talk all fucking day. But that's what I do. I'm a talker. And I hope that I've at least been an entertaining talker for you gentlemen tonight. Let's get to the high ground. Also, you gonna see something cool? I am still on the run to find that mysterious Deathclaw. On the hunt. He went in this direction. Could be anywhere. Spooky. They were just fucking duking it out until I like was ready for them to duke it out. How weird. I guess two Deathclaws fight each other until observed. They don't want people to see that shit. It gives them a bad rap, I guess. They're like, hang on now, the humans are watching. We can't let them see us devolve into such a low, uncivilized manner. You know, I'm also like, it's like 4 in the morning. It's been a good time listening to my thoughts and stories. Good. When did you tune in? Like, what was the first story you heard? Because I told a lot of stories tonight. And like, not a lot of people have been here to watch the stream, but it's been good viewers. Like, when you guys are in here actually talking to me, and not just like randomly like spouting shit, that's when it's a fun stream for me. Like, Cleese was here first, and he was actually engaged and talking, having conversation, listening to my stories. Then he left, and there was that other new viewer. I already forgot his name. I'm sorry. He came and he listened to me like talk about some shit, and then left. And then you came in, Moveless Robot, and I greatly appreciate the conversations. Because lately there have been a lot of streams where it's hard to enjoy a stream where the chat is just saying random shit or just being a backseat gamer, and it's not very enjoyable. But streams like tonight, they're good. It's been 30 minutes since you came? Okay. I mean, I think you'd enjoy the whole stream. I mean, if you want to rewatch it after it's up. If people are here after the stream's up, let me know what you guys think of tonight's stream and if it belongs in the best streams playlist or if it's just a decent stream. The fiery head. Guess the guy got killed for being a little too hot-headed. Zing. Remember, gentlemen, watch your temper. Probably start using the mines. Oh, I got someone. Hopefully it wasn't an innocent civilian. I'd like to thank MacCreedy for luring the ghouls around my trap. I really wanted to see them step on a landmine. I'm pretty sure I put 2 landmines down. Yeah. I was about to say, like, I'm just gonna leave it there, but nah. I'm gonna have some random caravan be hostile towards me because they set off my mine when I completely forgot about it. It's a good thing that feral ghouls like to pay their respects to the dead, you know? It's not like they emerge from the graves or anything. That Deathclaw's gone, I think. They like left town after that fight. I guess the one Deathclaw asserted its dominance and the other one conceded the territory to it or something. Like bears. I don't want to end the stream, but I also want to end the stream because it's getting so late.
Got it.
I haven't been able to play video games and enjoy it in a while. Like, by a while, I mean like a few days. It's like 4 days since I played a video game, and then I enjoyed most of the last few streams. Like the majority of those streams individually, but there was a point in each of them where I stopped having fun because it was just annoying getting bitched at.
Nothing there now.
Alright, you know the death claws didn't come through here. I don't even know where that... I don't know where that death claw went. Shit. I don't even know where that red rocket thing is. Who was laughing like a maniac? That's terrifying. Moveless Robot says, seeing me play this is like an episode of Game Grumps without the silly. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I hope you're enjoying the stream. I mean, you've been here a while. I've never watched Game Grumps, so I don't know. I don't watch a lot of video game content on YouTube, actually. I just like to stream video games and hang out with the chat. It's more fun to play video games, to me, if there's people hanging out with me while I'm playing the video games, so this is what I do. It's a good thing? Well, thank you, Moveless Robot. I'm also kind of in a weird position where I really want my coworkers, some of my coworkers, to hang out in my streams and like watch them. But also I don't want a lot of my other coworkers or bosses to know about the streams. Because I like to be able to just say whatever I want and also vent about work to you guys. I'm getting a lot of shitty legendary stuff lately. Alright, well I think I gotta call it. I mean, it's 3:50 in the morning. I would like to enjoy tomorrow and not sleep all day, but I also am enjoying tonight's stream, despite, you know, not necessarily having the highest view count. Which is fine by me, you know, I don't care how many people watch, as long as it's a fun stream for both parties. If you're here after the stream's up, let me know what you thought of tonight's stream. Consider subscribing, consider possibly donating to help your boy mum. I'm planning on using money that's donated to the channel on a gaming PC so I can actually stream more games and not be restricted to PS4. But, you know, otherwise, I might use it for a lens too, a telephoto lens, and then make the other channel have cooler content in it. If you guys want to check out the UrMums Room channel, might have some stuff you like. Have a good night. Bye-bye.